Hello, this is Ralph Beefin here today, and we're at York Railway Museum for today's video. As you can see, Sir Kenneth Grange is on the turntable, and we're covered all around in engines. My friend's here with us today, so let's get straight on. You won't be hearing me talking much, you'll just be seeing all the engines. So yeah, let's get on with it. So, Aerolite 224, something different, definitely. It's been rebuilt, who knows how many times, but it is a very, very beautifully well built engine. It was for the chief engineer of the North Eastern Railway. It was his private engine, we could say, but it was basically a track gang engine, we'll say. And right next to it, 1008 Lancashire and Yorkshire's engine. It's a 242 tank, and it is surprisingly the only engine to have a water scoop. So, something special on its own, isn't it? Don't know if you can see up there. That's Aerolite's cab. 1008 might be better. There we go. Look at that. Look how clean that looks. Right. We'll move on to our next engine, 2500. (2500) LMS. Built 1934. 264 wheel arrangement, used for fast suburban services. That's a bit of its history. You can pause and read that if you want. That's another view of the cab for 1008, and that's its company, Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway. Pet. This isn't standard gauge, I think you can tell. It's tiny. That's Pet's history. Come pause and read that if you'd like. We have the Channel Tunnels engine. This engine would have helped make the Channel Tunnel. And that is a muck truck, apparently. 1989, so this helped make the Channel Tunnel. And that's its history right there. Southern Railways electrical multiple unit. Sadly it's only the one car, and I don't know much on this one. This is something. Parcel train. Used in London. The parcels. You can now go visit the railway for this. It's a big loop, but they've converted a slightly newer version of this to carry people instead of passengers, instead of mail. GWR rail bus. This thing is beautiful, and I think beautiful is a really, really poor understanding for this. History's there. They have one of these at Didcot Railway Centre, and you can ride them. The one at Didcot you can ride. Got East Country's railway coach. That's this. It's seen better days, obviously. Then again, it was 1851. History there. This is very, very helpful, these histories, for me. So obviously, I think as you can tell, I am I'm a kid, an older kid, but my voice might not say that. This thing's beautiful. And there's its history, which I think is very, very interesting. got Lord Star next. We're going back and forth here, but there they be. 4003, so sole surviving star class. But 1907. I think this is something special. Really is somewhat special, is this? And there we go, look at that. Look at that. That is special. Looks like we can go underneath it as well. So, we'll go underneath it then, why not? And then we'll go meet back with my friend and see what he's doing. So once we've been under here, we'll go meet back up with my friend and see what he's been doing. Quite lots of things, I think he's just been taking pictures. Fairly, you can see these running at Preston Yard Railway to this day. They're prime movers as such. Interesting on their own. So right, we're off underneath now. We're off under Lord Star. Let's see what we can see. So we've got the water scoop there. So that would have picked up water from a trough underneath, in between the rails. We've got the firebox there in its ash pan. Cylinders. This is the 4-cylinder engine. We've got 2 on the outside, you can see one there, and 2 on the underneath. Right, we're back out. Yeah, it's not really greasy. Well, I wouldn't say it is. Right, let's go meet up with my friend. I'll go hunt for him. Where is he? I've seen him this way, so. Don't know where he's gone, he's disappeared. Got an ambulance coach here. And the ugly duckling. Q1, strongest 060 tender engine in existence. Number C1. And the class is the Q1. So we're confusing. There's a bit of history for you on the Q1. The disc wheels were used also on his Merchant Navy class. This was in wartime of World War II, so that's why it's so stripped boned. You can tell. Right, we'll make our way round this way now. Got the long boiler, or the hippopotamus, some people what these are called. There's a bit of history on the engine. The last place this engine worked was on the North Yorkshire Moors Railway. Don't know if you've ever been, but if you have, just imagine this thing with a heavy coal train going up Gothland Bank. So that's the gradient from Gothland up to Gromont up to Gothland. Got a rocket here. I think everyone will know this, but sadly it is a replica. It's a bit of a shame. There we go. Been cut in so you can see what it would look like. Here we have copper knob. Copper knobs, something special, I would say. There's a bit of copper knobs history for you. one of the only ones surviving of its class. That's a bit of a shame though, isn't it? Barry's backyard. There's history on Elmer Lines, Merchant Navy class. And as you can tell, it's got the same type of wheels as what the Q1 had. As you can tell, there's a bit of history. Sadly, this side's been cut in half, so you can see everything. I think that's a bit of a shame because you're just getting rid of an engine. If that makes sense, just for kids to see inside. I understand why, but I think it's just sad. There's the front, and this is the complete side. There we go, a lot better. Lot better that. Right, I think you should know what this is. This is Evening Star, the final 9F to be built. So we're going to go up these stairs and go have a look in its cab, see how clean it is. Imagine sat there pulling a 1,000-ton coal train behind you. That would be amazing. There we go. There's looking down the engine. And there's history. I'm gonna go hunt my friend down and then we'll continue after that. Right, we're back. I found him, I know whereabouts he is, so we'll continue. I came back, as you can tell we've still got Evening Star here. Class 20. Prototype or first built, we don't quite know. But it's number 8,000, so we think it's the prototype. Not quite sure. 1957, right at the start of dieselisation. Still on the network today, if you're lucky you can find them. There's its history. Right, on to the next one I guess. But there's the back. How pretty is that? There's another end. This one, went through like a history section here. Woodhead line diesel locomotive. First generation, first diesels to be rolled out. Also first electric engines to be rolled out.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, you can sit in front.
That's 31. BR Blue. I had one of these in model form. Sadly I did get rid of it because I wasn't really running it. But it's somewhere else where it can be running more now. Class 31. And there's a bit of history for you. Okay. You can pause that as well if you want. Keep forgetting to say that, but if you want to read the histories, you can. This one we can't really get a good view of it because of where it is, but that's a good view. It's the same as the one that was behind Sir Kenneth Grange, very similar, except it's metropolitan I want to say, but this thing's a beast that we're currently walking past. So this is Chinese, we think. It is Chinese, isn't it? We think, isn't it? Or we think it is. Just confirming with my friend. And it's massive. It was built in the UK, but then shipped over to Japan. I think. Anyway, but my friend's just going to quickly go and check for us now. 484, otherwise known as a mountain type. So very, very interesting. engine. Massive boiler. And quite a big tender as well, if we're being honest. But big tenders for a big engine, I guess. Whilst my friend's quickly looking, we'll look at the D-Class. This has been made in model form very recently for the National Railway Museum. Produced by Apple for locomotion, as this is otherwise known as. The D-Class is a very, very elegant engine for the Southeastern Chatham Railway. Thank you. And we've just been given permission, just been given news back. This engine's China, 1935. So, yeah, this is the D-Class, obviously, as I've just said. It's a big, fairly big engine. And this is its history. Right, next one. You've got your photos you want. I've seen my dad and my mum. Right. I think this next engine won't really need much introduction. If we can get through, we'll have a look. Duchess of Hamilton, also known as the Mallards competition. This raced Mallard in the races to the north. We're just walking around currently to go get our video, get our look at it. But whilst we're going, we've just spotted this, that little diesel I showed you in green. Yeah, that's the Woodhead. This is also the Woodhead engine. It's a big box, big black box. But the parts on this aren't original. They've just been coupled together to make an engine like that. It's a bit of a shame, but preservationists had to do what they had to do. So here's Duchess of Hamilton. Look around this side. There we go. It's a better view. Search up this, you might see it without the cowling, which is what this streamlining is. Very, very beautiful. I don't like the streamlining personally, but he says it was done, so I guess it's got to stay. But hey ho, what it is what it is. Next engine. This next engine needs no introduction. World record breaker. Mallard. Class A4, kept at King's Cross. Broke the record in 19... no clue really. Should know this. There we go. 1938. It broke the record. Go and have a look up in the cab. We've also got the dynamometer car behind it, so we'll go and have a look at that in a second. There's the cab. Very, very clean. Do have to say that. Here's the dynamometer car. Sorry for the glaring, I've just stood under a pair of lights. There we go. There we go. Right. Next, we've got a pair of diesels. Not really much to see there, is there though? But we'll have a look anyway. We have Western Recommend, sorry. Class 47, known to pull the Royal Train. Class 47 and a Class 40, number D200. As you can tell, first 2,000 horsepower diesel. It's massive. Absolutely massive. That's everything in here really. Obviously, got the rocket that they've run here and their mail car that they would have run behind this in real life. But that wasn't actually a real rocket. So that's more than likely everything in here. I shall see you back in the station hall once we get around there. See you in a minute.
See you.
Right, so we're not in the station hall. We're actually in the North Shed, and there's Deltic, the King's Regiment's own. It's something the King's in. King's Own Light Regiment. That's what it is. There we go. Infantry, sorry, not regiment. We can't get it right because it's such a long name. Here we are. The Deltic in two-tone green. And outside, don't know if you can see out there. Nope, you can't. But out there, it's too bright for us. There we go. The tender for that is British India Line. Right there. And an 08. And a bird. Don't know if you saw that. But up here, so we've got Deltic here. The King's Own Yorkshire Light Infantry. His long name is Donkeys. I'm just going to call it the King's Own because it's just so much easier. Engine. Very nice. It's very interesting. The reason these were called Deltics is because the engine was Raper Deltic. So that's interesting. But over here we have Henry Oakley. This is a GNR C1 Atlantic, covered up obviously for protection, but it's seen better days, very better days, but I do have to say it is very, very nice. I do hope they restore this into working order one day, but we all know they won't. So, right, those were really the only two engines in here. We shall continue this video. Once we're back into the main hall. So, we're now in the station hall, and as you come in, first thing you'll see is Gladstone. This engine did pull the Royal Train, so it was the Royal Train at one point, when it was pulled by the LBSCR, so London, Brighton and South Coast Railway. And these is a carriage of its time. That was a royal carriage at one point. So this is what it looks like back in about the 1980s, 1910s. No, 1910s, we'll say. And this is what it wouldn't look like today. Old. No. Still gets 3 axles. I guess that's a commonality. Yeah. Original rocket. So do you know the rocket we showed you earlier? Yeah, that wasn't the real one. That one is. These are all at National Railway Museum. So this is a slightly older one, but it's still newer than that one. And same with this one. Seems like all railway companies had their own. So we off this way? Right, we'll go this way, and then we'll work our way back down the other side behind me. So over this way. On this side we have a TPO, an old TPO, as you can tell by the bagged net on the side. We can't go inside from over there, but you can see from in here. I think that's somewhat different. And here we also have an Class 87. Oh yeah, and interestingly it has two names. Royal Scot, remember 87001? It's the same on the other side, but there's Royal Scot on this side. And over this side, it's getting dark. 87001. On this side it's called Stevenson. So it's either me, they've changed it here, or the people that made it were on drugs and did this instead. Because it's really confusing. You don't know which name it was originally called. But we think this Stevenson is for Robert Stevenson, the creator of the rocket. This is also here, a little shunter, LMS, 7050. It's cute, very cute indeed. But there's nothing really much to say on this because we don't have its history. And then there's a couple of wagons here. It's hard to see because of the lighting. Got a Pullman car. This would have been probably more than likely on the Midland Pullman. We think it would have been on the Midland Pullman, but we're not 100% sure. Continue walking. Got different wagon trucks and carts on this side that were owned by railway companies. And you can see Midland Railway and Railway Scottish Company. And here, and you have the first engine to be preserved. You'd think it'd be a mainline Pacific, but no. It's a little 060 shunting engine. GNR 1247. Behind us, we have a teak, an old teak, three-axled brake, and a GWR wagon here. A fish wagon. Southern Railways one, French, and it was not to run on the Southern Railway. A milk tanker, United Dairies milk tanker, three-axled, loose coupled, no air brakes. If this stuff runs away, no, you can't stop this because it's got no brakes. Got a second bogied coach here, of the same era as this engine here. But this is special. It's a banana wagon. Banana. Right, okay. Sorry. We have LSWR, London and South Western Railways, 245 M7. You've seen these on the branch lines. This line was taken over by the Southern when Big 4 came. So you would have seen these on the branch lines that went down to the sea. They normally double-headed with passenger services. If the service was over, I don't know, about 5 coaches because it was downhill. This is another lorry from the LNER. It's a crank start. Most of the ones here are crank starts, but that's expected really, isn't it? This is the front of the M7. We have a very special engine coming up next. I have seen this every single time I've come here, but it is very special. So we'll quickly have a better look at the M7 in better lighting. Right, the next engine is very special. It's the Midland Spinner. Number 673, this was made for running actually. This was actually made for piloting, but it did pull some of its own services. The reason it's called Midland Spinner is because it's inside cylindered, 2 cylinders. As you can tell, it has a big, massive driving wheel right there. As you can tell, it's massive. It's about 6 foot driver. 7 foot then, my friend has just corrected me. Thank you. Got some coaches to go with it as well. very period for this engine. They go perfectly. That's a bit of history on the spinner. You can stop, pause the video and read that. This video is going to be longer than normal. Might be about half an hour, but that's because there's so much here. Okay, so we're just going down past beside the spinner and the stock on my left. We have a slightly newer coach here. This is a non-corridor coach. So we've got a bed on this side and seats on this side, but these seats would have probably more than likely been able to converted to beds as well. So that's just an example. It's the same all the way down. So continuing again down here. This is another picture of the brake. That you saw not long ago. So we're currently just using that. We've got one more engine to see in here before we go outside, and that is the Midland Crab. But the reason you're seeing the floor so often is because it is very, very busy in here, and it's to keep people's privacy. You will see other people in the video whilst I'm pointing it up, but that's for me filming. So whilst we're walking, the camera's just pointed down. So we've got the Midland Crab here. Obviously, we'll look at it from the front. 1926 haulage, 13,000. This has been unceremoniously called Charlotte. Have no clue why. But you've got all the valve gear here, very, very complicated. And you've got the tender. Tenders, I'd say, is quite a bit narrower than the engine, as you can tell. But we've got the cab and the firebox in there. They've all got wheels for their reversers, which I think is quite interesting. You've got everything in here. Very complicated. And then you've got the back end of the tender, handbrake, or water scoop. I don't think the Midlands had water scoops. And then your firebox, cold door, and your firebox there. So that's the Midland Crab, number 13,000. You've got the coaching stock for the Midlands Royal Train as well, all the way down here. So we'll look at that while we're going outside. Oh, this is another coach, Royal Train, obviously. I think this is French. There's French writing on it. Yeah, this is French. It's like the French Royal Train. But I have really no clue. Here's another French coach. Put the inside in that one. Look at the insides. Well furnished, isn't it? No wonder these coaches weighed about 40 tons apiece. Right. We'll go outside now and see if there's anything out there. We don't think there is, but we'll go and have a look. Right, now we're outside. We just have to adjust the camera. Steam ride isn't running, but that's to be expected. Yeah, and it looks a bit unused and abandoned. We'll see if there we go. It's not the best. That's as good as we can get because this is shut off. So we can't get down there. But that's a train out here. There's nothing really much out here, but we'll go and have a little look and ponder. The depot's shut. It says the depot is currently being used for storage. Sorry for any disappointment, but we'll see if we can sneak the camera through. Don't know if you can see into there. Don't Looks like there's an engine. And Queen Mary, and then there's like an O2 on the back. I'm not quite sure, but it don't want to focus. So we'll see if we can get anything from over here. Come on, focus. There we go. See if we can see anything from over here. No, I can't see anything. I don't know if this camera can. Alright, there you go. You can just see the back of that O2. But yeah, there's really not much out here, and it's looking quite tired and unused, which is a bit of a shame. And there's nothing down there that you can see. The only thing you can really see from here, as my friends just pointed out, is York Minster. Just focus. There we go. Yeah, that's what you can really see from back here. But in there, one of the times I've been, there's been Flying Scotsmen. They've had them back gates open, and they've been shunted in there. Currently, Flying Scotsman is out on rail tours, doing it with West Coast Railway, West Coast Main Line. But yeah, we've got the miniature railway here. It has been running, but looks to us like they've stopped running for today. It has been running. They had a 47 in here. But up there's learning space, sorry. Normally if that's open, they've got boxing in there. And that's an A1 Terrier. But that's really it. There's nothing really much out here. But that's us for today. That's Rails with Ethan coming out of National Railway Museum. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if so, please like and subscribe. As always, stay safe. This is Rails with Ethan signing out.